Tonight on the HBO Comedy Showcase, Rita Rudner.
In this day and age, I just don't want anything around my neck that's worth more than my head. I have a safety deposit box, but since I don't have any good jewelry, I keep something else in there that means quite a lot to me. I made this omelet once that flipped over perfectly. I can't believe we're in the 1990s already, either. Boy, the 90s are a very special decade for me because they're my last fertile decade. And I still don't know what to do. My husband and I, we've been discussing it so far. We're either going to get a dog or have a child. We haven't quite decided if we want to ruin our carpet or ruin our lives. And it gets harder to have children when you get older. Not only having them, but naming them. Because by the time you're in your 30s, every name you think of reminds you of someone you hate. We have to hurry. We're down to Jethro and Nefertiti. And I'm an only child. I don't have any idea about babies. I was over at my friend's house, and her baby was crying. Well, not really crying, more screaming. I'd never heard a noise quite like this. It was a mating call to a car alarm. And I just asked my friend, the baby's what, a month old? What could be that wrong? It hasn't been outside yet. She said, he's hungry. I thought, that's the noise he makes when he's hungry? He better pace himself. What kind of noise is he going to make when he gets audited? And all my friends have children, every one of them, and they all tell me what they go through. It's scary. One of my friends told me she was in labor for 36 hours. I know. I don't even want to do anything that feels good for 36 hours. I think kangaroos have a good deal. I like that pouch setup. I'd have a baby if it would mature in a handbag. And I'm always going to all these big birthday parties that my friends make for their kids. One of my friends made a great big surprise party for her child. He's one. We all snuck in around the crib. We jumped up, we yelled, surprise! He was surprised. He's in therapy. I had the worst birthday party ever when I was a child because my parents hired a pony to give rides. And these ponies are never in good health. But this one dropped dead. It just wasn't much fun after that. One kid would sit on him and the rest of us would drag him around in a circle. Things, you know, like I was asking my friend who has children, what if I have a baby and I dedicate my life to it and it grows up and it hates me and it blames everything that's wrong with its life on me? And my friend said, oh, Rita, don't be silly. What do you mean, what if? You just never know what type of child you're getting. They have their own personalities immediately. I was watching little kids on a carousel, teeny little kids. Some kids were jumping on the horses. Some kids were afraid of the horses. Some kids were betting on the horses. And I wouldn't want a kid who was like me, because I was just so shy when I was growing up. Well, worse than shy. I was boring. I was. Whenever we played doctor, the other children always made me the anesthesiologist. Really, all I had were 2 friends, and they were imaginary. And they would only play with each other. I was nice, though, I was. I was the only one in my class who would seesaw with the fat kid. Well, we didn't really seesaw, though. We kind of just seed. I'd get on, and then she'd get on. And then the fire department would get me out of the tree. You know, it was a very, very tricky time for me, Halloween, because all my life, my parents said, never take candy from strangers. And then they dressed me up and said, now go beg for it. I didn't know what to do, really. I'd knock on people's doors. I'd go, trick or treat. No, thank you. My parents were great, though. They never wanted me to be upset about anything. They couldn't tell me when a pet had died. I remember once I woke up and my goldfish was gone. And I said, Mom, where's Fluffy? She said he ran away. It was embarrassing. I offered a reward. My friends were stupid. They looked for him. Whenever anything went wrong in my life, my mom always had the same saying. She'd say over and over, all things happen for the best. And I'd always say, who's best? And she'd say, gotta